Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muwaqit Mustaqeem Razmi with Matric number L2480564. For today, I'm going to present my research proposal entitled The Role of Color in Marketing Communication and its Impact on Consumer Behavior. This study examines how color influences consumers psychologically and emotionally and how this response affects their purchasing decisions. Marketing communication, also known as MarCom, refers to the strategies and activities used by companies to communicate with consumers. Its main objectives are to create brand awareness, attract consumer interest, and encourage purchasing behavior. In today's digital environment, marketing communication is commonly carried out through social media, online advertising, branding, and promotional campaigns. Among the various elements in marketing communication, color plays an important role. Color is more than just a visual feature, it can influence consumers psychologically and emotionally. It helps create first impressions, strengthen brand recognition, and shape purchasing decisions. Ideally, colors should be used strategically in marketing communication to attract attention, convey brand message, and positively influence consumer behavior. However, many organizations still focus primarily on product features and promotional content while overlooking the psychological impact of color. In addition, consumers may interpret colors differently due to cultural backgrounds, personal preferences, and situational factors. As a result, color may not always generate the same behavioral response among consumers. Furthermore, there is still limited empirical evidence regarding how color influences consumer behavior, particularly in modern digital marketing environments where visual communication is highly dominant. Previous studies have shown that color is an important marketing tool and contributes to brand identity, communication effectiveness, and consumer decision making. However, most existing studies focus on color psychology and symbolic meanings rather than measuring its actual impact on consumer behavior. Many studies also examine color in isolated contexts, such as branding or advertising design. Therefore, there is a need for further research that provides empirical evidence on how color in marketing communication influence consumer behavior, especially in today's digital marketing environment. This study has four research objectives. The first objective is to examine the role of color in marketing communication. The second objective is to measure consumer psychological and emotional response toward color in marketing communication. The third objective is to analyze the relationship between color in marketing communication and consumer behavior. Finally, the fourth objective is to determine whether psychological and emotional response mediate this relationship. Based on these objectives, four research questions have been developed. First, what is the role of color in marketing communication? Second, what psychological and emotional responses do consumers experience toward color in marketing communication? Third, is there a significant relationship between color in marketing communication and consumer behavior? And finally, do psychological and emotional response mediate this relationship? This slide presents the conceptual framework of the study. The independent variable, IV, is color in marketing communication, which includes advertising, branding, packaging, and visual design. The mediating variable, MATV, is psychological and emotional response, which consists of attention, perception, emotion, and memory. The dependent variable, DV, is consumer behavior, including the purchase intention, brand preference, and decision making. The framework proposes that color influences consumer behavior directly and indirectly through psychological and emotional responses. This study adopts a quantitative research design. Data will be collected through a structured questionnaire using a 5-point Likert scale ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. A quantitative approach is suitable because it allows the researcher to measure variables numerically and analyze the relationships between them using statistical methods. The study aims to test both the direct and indirect effects of color on consumer behavior. The target population consists of consumers who are exposed to marketing communication through digital media, social media, advertising, and branding materials. For sampling, this study will use convenient sampling due to accessibility and time constraints. A sample size of approximate 150 to 2,000 respondents will be targeted, which is considered sufficient for quantitative analysis. Data will be collected through an online questionnaire. The questionnaire consists of several sections. Section A collects demographic information such as age and gender. Section B measures perceptions of color in marketing communication, including attention, attractiveness, and brand perception. Section C measures consumer behavior, including purchase intention, brand preferences, and decision-making behavior. An additional section measures psychological and emotional response as mediating variable. The collected data will be analyzed using SPSS, which stands for Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. Descriptive statistics will be used to summarize respondents' demographic information. Pearson correlation analysis will be used to examine the relationship between color and consumer behavior. Multiple regression analysis will determine the predictive effect of color on consumer behavior. In addition, mediation analysis will be conducted to examine whether psychological and emotional response act as a mediating variable. The significance level will be set at 0.05. This study is expected to find that color significantly influences consumer behavior. Color is anticipated to affect consumers' attention, emotions, perceptions, and purchasing intentions. It is also expected that psychological and emotional response will mediate the relationship between color in marketing communication and consumer behavior. These findings will provide empirical evidence supporting the importance of color as a strategic marketing communication tool. The findings of this study may benefit marketers by helping them design more effective advertisement, improve brand recognition, and increase consumer engagement. For consumers, the study may increase awareness of how visual elements influence their purchasing decisions. For researchers, the study may contribute updated empirical evidence to the fields of color psychology and consumer behavior. In conclusion, color is an important component of marketing communication. It plays a significant role in influencing consumer perceptions, emotions, and behavior. By understanding color psychology, marketers can create more effective communication strategies and improve consumer engagement. This study aims to contribute valuable empirical evidence on the relationship between color in marketing communication and consumer behavior. Thank you for your attention listening to my presentation. That's all from me. Bye bye.